Let's give a very warm welcome to Peter de Pape from Stadium, who will take you through the next startups showcase from the #1 accelerator in media in Europe. The stage is yours.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here. I'm Peter, I come from Brussels, and exactly, we're working on Stadium. Stadium stands for Startup-Driven Innovation in Media. So we've built an accelerator program typically for new media players, and actually I have also two really talented startups that will join the stage in a few minutes. But before that, I wanted to share a bit let's say, the story, how we build it and why we build it, and of course also which startups you should know, because we have a really interesting portfolio of startups that are working on the media of tomorrow. So, why did we build it? I think if we go back 3 years ago, what we saw was, and this is the tower of the company I work for. It's a public broadcaster in Brussels. It's called VRT, and this is the tower in the center of Europe, let's say. What we saw 3 years ago was that every country in media was working side by side on their own, let's say, in the best purpose that they could, but it was on their own. We also saw a lot of virtual borders because we all speak different languages. We have not the same culture, different cultures. We also saw some investments in startups, but mainly done in each country. And of course, we also know, it was back then, but also today, a big competitive landscape of the big players. I think that everybody now knows TikTok. I think that everybody uses Instagram. I think that from time to time, everybody looks at YouTube. So of course, these are bigger European, American and Asian players. And what we believe is by building this accelerator program that we can build the solutions of the media in Europe for tomorrow. That's actually really why we believe in the story of Stadium. So 4 companies took the lead, and one is an Estonian company. You might know him. Stan was just on stage, I think here nearby. It's the CEO of Storytech. It's a venture studio they're based here in Tallinn. That's one of the 4 companies. The other one is MCB from Norway, Media City Bergen. We have NMA from Hamburg, Germany, and also VRT, so the public broadcaster of Flanders in Belgium. So what did we want to create? We wanted to create a format where it's possible for startups in media to co-create on a European level, not on a local level, but on a European level, and bring them in a grid of 5 steps from their product validation to a product that is integrated in these media organizations. And if you see the circle, around the circle, we don't do this only for the 4 companies who are in the lead. We do this for every media company, commercial or non-commercial, in the media industry in Europe. So that's the mission. These are partners. We have 2 other partners. Maybe some of you will also know EBU, which is an organization where all the public media services get together in one network. And also F6S, which is a startup platform from Great Britain. Okay, the results after 2.5 Stadium. I think we had more than 300 scale-ups across Europe that came to the accelerator program. We had more than 70 media companies working together with us. And we had 76 projects. So that means that we're not working anymore on a local scale. I think that we are really bringing Europe together around media and also finding the best talent in media that there is today across Europe. Very short, before I can introduce you to 2 of the talented startups that I want to show you, and I would like to meet you. So why do startups say yes to the program? Just one more thing before I go here, just to get you a glimpse of who is Europe. I think a lot of media companies that we match the startups with are coming from Germany, a lot are coming from the UK, a lot of coming from Belgium as well, but also Spain. So that's really across, let's say, Europe. Also, Sony was there, so we also match them sometimes with companies from the US. And where are the startups coming from? Also there you see that they come from across whole Europe. Also a lot of Germany, also a lot of Scandinavian startups were in there. So I didn't put it on the picture, but I just wanted to mention that. So why do they join startups, and why are they enthusiastic about the program? I think that we help them accelerate sales. I think that we help them find the product fit. I think that we also help them faster develop their product because we are a co-creation track. That means that we really co-create the product together, media startup and media corporate, so the media house. And why do media houses say yes? Is because also for them it's important to find new solutions and find methods to implement these new solutions in the best possible structured way. And so also there we help them to gain their goals. That's really the match that we make. Just very short, because I see that my time is up. We also saw during the 2 years a lot of investments. If there are investors in the room, I think also there are maybe some opportunities. So we saw 3 companies being acquired by Sony, by Songtrader, by Sin Media. And we also saw some financing rounds of 4 startups that are, let's say, in the scaling phase and are seeking for seed money. So that brings me to the 2 scale-ups that I would like to introduce today. And the first one is, now I have to check my mobile. The first one is actually Druid Learning, and Druid Learning is actually building a next generation management tool in media. So give a warm round of applause for Niam Feller of Druid Learning. Oh, it's BotTalk. Sorry, that I didn't know. Then that's really. I thought it was vice versa, but now you already know that Druid Learning is coming. But then I want to introduce you. So BotTalk with Sophia. Okay, I leave it over to you to explain what BotTalk is, but it will be very interesting. I promise you.
Right. Hi, my name is Sophia Boysen. I'm the CEO of BotTalk, and we're actually creating the future of audio content. Do you have the clicker? Okay, let me start with this short story of our everyday lives. So nowadays we are always in the rush. We do several things at the same time, and our attention span is limited. And did you ever have the feeling that there was so much written text outside and you don't have time to read them all? The reason is not only the limited time span we have. We are also surrounded by new media possibilities which are fighting for our attention. And audio you can consume by other activities. And that's why it's booming, or you can also say it's getting mainstream. Almost 7 hours per week, people are spending consuming audio content. So it's getting really common. But when you try to find something in audio form between all this written text outside, you have just a small chance to do so. So most of the books, websites, and magazines don't have an audio version. And now imagine a world where you can listen to every single text outside. And creating this world is our vision. So at BotTalk, we're producing audio content with AI voices. So we're taking the new possibilities of the technology of AI and try to produce the most human-sounding voices. For this, we created an audio CMS, so it's an all-in-one version, and it should be as easy as possible to integrate us. So we have just one line of code, and so we started 2019, and the goal was so we focused on publishers because publishers have lots of content, and that's why we have a special know-how for publishers. For example, we created lots of monetization strategies with audio ads, a paywall player, or a paywall integration and a playlist player, like this. So here you can see a use case from our client in Germany, the Hamburger Abendblatt. So this looks like when we are integrated. This is just a little web player where the people can click and then hear the article. So we have an average a click rate from 10%, and of those who are clicking, listen 75% till the end, and this results like in an engagement time of 2.5 minutes, which for especially newspapers are very good. When we started in 2019, we bought the text-to-speech from third parties and improved them. That means that we have like machine learning to detect and correct errors, and also define around 10,000 linguistic rules to get the voice better. And this procedure, we have like 90% of the errors corrected, and the last 1% is corrected by humans with our dictionaries. So we can correct like every pronunciation error. But with Stadiem, we want to now to go one step further, and we are creating custom voices. Which means custom voices. Custom voices is like an AI voice where we're using voice cloning, that everyone has their own company voice. And especially in the media industry, it is very good that they have their own voice. For example, our German partners are taking their moderators who are very famous, or the chief editor, because the people have know the person and they have kind of emotional connection, so it's getting more trustworthy for them. This we're doing at the moment in Germany and Belgium, so for Flemish and German, but in general we can do it like in every other language. The steps we need to do is always we need to build like a baseline model for text-to-speech. And this takes like lots of audio data. So at least 20 hours we need to build the baseline model and to train the AI, and also to train the normalizer. So this is like the part who translate the numbers into words that the AI knows. Is it now a date, a time, or a currency? This needs to be trained. Because it's based on text-to-speech, we always need like the both sides, like text and the audio. So we're creating like lots of sentences, a transcript which the speaker needs to record. And it's very important that it's like 100% the same, the both sides, because otherwise we could have errors in the training. The second step is the voice cloning, where we clone like the voice of the speaker you're gonna select. And there we need around like 2 hours. This is the status quo at the moment. We are try to develop further that we can also clone a voice with less audio data. And there we have like a similar procedure that we need to clone the voice with the data and in the combination with the baseline model, because there we have like all the characteristics of the language and how the language is actually working. And then we need to fine-tune the voice, that we need or get like 100% clone. So the timbre, the pitch, the pronunciation, pauses. So we're getting like a natural flow in the voice. All right, then I also want to show you a little snippet how the status quo is at the moment. So yet we are in the fine-tuning part. It's not 100% ready yet. These are now like examples in German, because we started in Germany and Belgium with the voice cloning. But I think you will just hear like that it's a clone voice. The first one is the female voice, and we're going to start with the human one and then the AI.
Der Passagier wurde nach seiner Ankunft medizinisch versorgt. Der Passagier wurde nach seiner Ankunft medizinisch versorgt.
And the male one?
Aus Protest gegen Rassismus und Polizeigewalt gehen seitdem weltweit Menschen auf die Straße. Aus Protest gegen Rassismus und Polizeigewalt gehen seitdem weltweit Menschen auf die Straße.
Okay, I think most of them don't understand actually the text, but you can hear that the voices are similar. It's the flow in the second one is not 100% ready yet, but I think it gives a good idea in what we're actually doing. So like to summarize it a bit, like on our platform we have like over 120 voices because we buy it from the third parties. And in the voice cloning we started in Germany and Belgium, and now we want to move further in the other European countries, and we're always like happy to have like programs like Stadiem. They're gonna support us. Yes, so Europe has such a huge variety of voices, and if you want to give your content a voice which your customers really like and identify with, we're always happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Sophia. So that brings me to the second scale-up of Stadium. And actually, as I said earlier, they are building the next generation content management tool, a really surprising tool. So I want a round of applause for Druid Learning and Nia.
Hi everyone. So my name is Nia Fowler and I'm the founder of Druid Learning. I'm here today to talk about the Stadium Initiative and how the Stadium Initiative really helped us understand the value of our product. So let me make sure this works. There we go. So when we talk about our tool, what we actually do is we help content-heavy organizations to consolidate, structure, and distribute their content. What we mean by that is when you think about educational publishers, when you think about media organizations, they have content files that might be in the form of video files, audio files, subtitle files, PDFs, any publishing files. And ultimately, those files are spread around a number of different databases. So what we do is we centralize all that content into one single location, we structure it, and we allow content-heavy organizations to distribute their content across any third-party IT system at any time. So with the Stadium project, it's all about building corporate relationships. And on the program, our corporate relationship was a company called CJ Fallon. CJ Fallon is one of Ireland's oldest and largest publishers. They specialize in academic and educational publishing, and like a lot of organizations, they've grown hugely over the past number of years. But they also had to adjust to the digital and social media reality that they were facing. And this led to a €700,000 problem. If you think about an educational publisher who's created a new maths book, for example, that maths book will need to be used on an e-commerce website. It might need to be used to create new teaching materials to support the book. That product information might need to be used in warehouse management systems, supplier IT systems, retail management systems, the list goes on. Right now, companies have teams of people who take that one file and manipulate it so that it can be used by all of these different IT systems. And what's more, in order to create new material to support a book, they use external content creation companies in order to help them. You might wonder why this is the case. And the reality is because they've had to adapt so quickly to the reality that they faced with social media, with digital, they actually ended up creating multiple databases and multiple sources where they had their content storage. And so they had no central location from which to feed IT systems. With CJ Fallon, in order to make those two IT systems, even two IT systems talk to each other, they were being forced to pay up to €700,000 to make their whole ecosystem work. And so when we encountered the Stadium program, we actually decided to work with CJ Fallon to kind of solve two key issues for them. One, they did not want to use external companies to create new content. And two, they actually wanted to be able to distribute their content across third-party systems without the need for expensive IT integrations. Before the Stadium Initiative, we could do about 70% of what CJ Fallon wanted. And so under the Stadium Initiative, and thanks to the money that we received, we decided to build that last 30%. The relationship we built with CJ Fallon allowed us to develop our product and also allowed us to test and validate our IT systems on their live databases. So the results began to speak for themselves, and over the course of 5 months, we realized that we could help CJ Fallon to centralize their content databases, which allowed them to internally create new content within 4 days, which also saved them about €5,000 when it came to creating new materials. And also, by centralizing all of their content assets into one single location, we were able to allow them to easily distribute content across third-party systems without the need for heavy IT integrations. Importantly, though, thanks to Stadium and thanks to our relationship with CJ Fallon, we actually realized that there was a far bigger and more strategic opportunity available to us. So, we hear a lot today about the future of technology. We hear about things like AI, machine learning, natural language processing, NFTs, and it all just gets very confusing very, very, very quickly. I'm a techie. I spent 12 years managing the IT delivery for things like Amazon Instant Video, Amazon Music, and PayPal. And even I get confused by the sheer pace at which technology is changing. But let me break everything down for you. All of this is not possible without organized, structured, and consolidated databases. Thanks to Stadiem and thanks to CJ Fallon, we realized that what we could do was help content-heavy organizations future-proof their content databases and really make them ready and prepared for the IT future that's literally just around the corner. So at Druid Learning, we automatically consolidate, structure, and organize content data. We eliminate the need for manual database intervention. We make it easy for content organizations to share their content across third-party systems. And importantly, because we create one single location and one structured, organized database, they're able to fully embrace the IT future whatever way they want, whatever way they choose to engage with it. When we realized that there was a far bigger opportunity, we went back and looked at our total market size. Focusing only on the media and publishing space, we realized that our market size is roughly about 300 billion. Over the next 3 years, we're focusing on the German, US, and UK markets. And if we sell our enterprise product at an enterprise price point into just 3% of the publishers operating in the US, UK, and German markets, we would be earning revenues of 1.5 billion. Our business model is very simple. We operate a platform as a service model. Our entry-level price point is 30,000, which scales up to an enterprise price point of 120,000. This is exclusive or excluding the cost of storage and also the number of users that might be using the system. The team consists of myself, Hilary Byrne, Tim Dudley, and Calvin. So I spent about 12 years managing the IT delivery of multimedia and e-commerce solutions. Hilary is a teacher and educational content creator who's actually worked with some of the world's largest educational publishers. Tim is our CTO, a serial entrepreneur, and very much a database geek. And Calvin, and thanks to the Stadiem initiative, we have Calvin, who's our senior product and account manager. So I'm here today to talk to you about the Stadiem initiative, but also I'm here looking for money. We're raising around 700,000, and we've actually secured about 200,000 of that to date. We want to use this round to basically further the Stadiem fuel growth that our business has experienced. We want to focus on the marketing and sales side of things. So we've managed to build our commercially viable product. We have a number of clients actively using the product, but really we want to scale our business and use this money to do so. And finally, everyone here on stage is trying to sell an idea. And so I wanted to kind of validate what I was saying about content databases needing to be consolidated and structured in order for companies to embrace the digital future. And so I decided to go to the source of AI truth, which is ChatGPT, and I asked it what it thought, and this was its response. That's Druid Learning, and I'll open it up to questions.
Are there any questions for Druid Learning or Bot Talk? Do I see some hands? Somebody who would like to know something better? Understand something better? Not immediately? Okay. Then I want to thank you both. Also, I want to thank you for listening and for joining. We are opening in a few minutes a side event of Stadiem. So if you would like to talk to Bot Talk or to Druid Learning, or you want to understand better what Stadiem is about, if you're a startup who wants to join the program in the future, because there will be a next one in a few months, or if you're an investor who wants to understand how can I join Stadiem, or if you're interested in one of our startups, because we have a portfolio of more than 40, of course, come by, eat something, because there will be also something to drink and some good food. So thank you and welcome, and I hope you will join us for the next event in a few minutes. Thank you.